The 2014 golf season has just kicked off, and people are already clamoring to try new clubs. It's demo day here at Royal Ashburn Golf Club, and all the big manufacturers showed up with their latest irons and drivers. So let's take a look at what the new offerings are for 2014.
Introduced SLDR driver last August. So again, we're kicking into 8 months of product life cycle, and it's the first technology we introduced with low forward center gravity. So low forward center gravity helps us promote higher loft on the drivers for players, getting you better launch conditions, so more distance overall. So higher launch, lower spin, more distance. Well, they always come over with the mindset of thinking, you know what, my typical driver was 9.5 or 10.5. And quickly I always talk about the technology, what we're doing, where we're going, and it's a kind of a mind blow to them where it's saying, you want me at a 12, you want me at a 14. So typically it is a driver talk, but then it turns into a loft talk really quick.
So first thing we got to show loft. I mean, this is something we haven't seen before, right? So the 14 degree. Got a lot of typical golfers were moving into 14, but again, low forward center gravity is hard to tell or show because it's inside here based on how we're making the driver. But you can see it here in the sense that, again, movable weight technology with us was always on the outskirt and perimeter. Now we're taking the movable weight technology and putting it more towards the front of the club, as you can see. So we got a 20 gram, basically movable weight here that we can actually shift around. Make it easy for the golfer. Like a lot of golfers found they didn't really touch the movable weight and change it, but now we're having to make it easy to say, okay, here, you want to get more fade, slide the weight over to fade. I'm going to draw the ball more, slide it over to draw. Pretty simple. And again, it helps us have that low forward CG by having that weight down and low towards the face of the club.
Okay. Yeah, for us this year, it's definitely been the 714 AP1 and AP2 irons. We've made them more forgiving by adding tungsten weight in both heads. Both are a multi-material construction. The AP1 is an oversized cast model, which offers the player a little higher flight, a little more forgiveness. And in your AP2, you're in a slightly smaller head in a forging. So there's still plenty of forgiveness, but there's a little more workability in that head. They really notice a difference, certainly in the forgiveness, and the feel, because of the multi-material construction, is very solid.
So basically for 2014, Wilson has came out with our F, C, and D series. The F being the feel irons, the C control, and D distance. New in the distance iron is the D100 ES iron. It's a combination hybrid and irons. We basically have the 4, 5, and 6 in the hybrids, and then we offer in super game improvement the D100 ES. So basically we've got a lot of weight, perimeter weighting, a lot of weight at the bottom of the club to help the average player get the ball up in the air very easily. New for 2014 is the C100. It basically gives you an extra skeleton, a little bit less weight at the bottom of the club, but again, enough to get the average player up in the to get it up in the air very easily, and a lot more forgiving and a lot of playability. We put a urethane dampener in the back, so anything on miss hits basically still feels very solid, and we get the CL 100 gram shaft. So again, a very lightweight shaft, but again, very stable for the average player. And then new for this year, as far as the woods go, is the M3 wood. It's the first adjustable wood Wilson staff has come out with. So basically we can make it anywhere from an 8.5 degree driver right up to an 11 degree driver. We also have 3 extra weights. It's a 5, 7, and 11 gram weight. So if the player wants a little bit heavier, move the weight further back, get the ball up in the air a little bit easier. And we put the Rift Phenom shaft in there. So again, it's a top quality shaft in it. That also comes in the fairway woods and also hybrids.
So for 2014, we're actually continuing on with the G25 line. It's very, very successful for us. Kind of game improvement, as well as we've got the I-25, which newly launched in February. So the I-25 design is a little smaller look, a little smaller profile. The driver has a little lower launch and a little lower spin. When looking at the 4 golf clubs that you have here, on the far right side you have the S55. This is our this is our players golf club. What most of our tour guys tend to play with. A little thinner sole, less perimeter weighting on it. Next we go into our I-25, and it's a little thicker sole compared to the S55. A little more perimeter weighting. This one has some tungsten out towards the toe here, custom tuning slot that's unique with pings. And this is kind of your mid-handicap player. into the G25. Again, sole gets a little thicker, ball flight's going to go a little higher, but it actually allows us to maximize the cavity, making it more game improvement, making it more forgiving in the whole face. Lastly, we've got the Karsten. Maximum game improvement, you can see the size difference in soles. Same thing in cavity, maximizing cavity, bringing that perimeter weighting as far back as possible so the ball flight's a little higher. And with this one, because of the ball flight being so much higher, we're actually able to strengthen the lofts to help get the ball go a little farther as well. G25 is definitely one of the most forgiving drivers on the market currently. It's a very large 460cc head. And with that, the way we've internally weighted the golf club just really allows for maximum forgiveness off the heel, the toe, high in the face, low in the face. You're really, anywhere you hit it, you're going to maximize your distance with that G25 driver.
In 2014, we brought back the Big Bertha name, which I think every golfer at one point in time has had a Bertha product, so the name recognition is fantastic. 2 models of the Big Bertha driver. This is what's really unique this year. No other company's doing this. It's our gravity core. Got that. Yes. So depending on how this is, or the orientation of this within the driver, you can increase or decrease the spin rate. So if the weight is up towards the top of the club, it'll actually bump that spin rate up, keep the ball in the air maybe a little bit longer. If you need to keep that spin rate down, which is usually what most people who we fit into this driver are looking to do, you keep that weight low. Same adjustable hosel as the Big Bertha. So you have the ability to adjust this club to whatever setting your fitter, club fitter determines you should need. It comes in a 9-degree or 10.5 as well as a 13.5 degree loft, and then you can kind of bump that up. Let's put it on draw setting right now. And then we have the sliding weight track, varying degrees of draw or fade bias, and that's fine-tuning ball flight once you get the proper loft and proper shaft.
So, what are you going to put in your bag this year?